Hello! This is Monday Nights Get Nuked. I'm thirsty. This is Run Under Ooze Town. Players are over that way. I will get that right one day. Map is there. Name of the campaign's even further over there. For those of you who are joining us for our 26th episode and haven't watched any before, that's a novel idea. Well done. We are once again returning to Ooze Town, and we did it the long way around, to play in the nuked setting of the spiced system that I wrote with the far, far, far more motivated Valonda, who is of various internet fame and does podcasts and stuff. But more important than all of that are our rules for you people out there in chatland. And those rules are... they're in chat. Huzzah. Don't be a tool about someone's gender. Don't be a tool about someone's race. And don't be a tool.
Or a screwdriver.
Exactly. So, now we've got the perfunctories out of the way. I've introduced myself. You know what we'll be playing. In vague terms. I think it's just about time. All of my lovely little players introduce themselves. So, in no particular order, I shall point at random to someone on my screen and then tell them because they can't see my screen. Lilth!
Why me first? I'm Lilth. I am playing Anita, the very annoyed at the moment rotter.
Okay. What else can you tell us about Anita? For those of us who've tuned in for the first time on the 26th episode, as I try and wrangle you towards a finale.
She's been around since forever. She likes to play with drugs. Well, deal, dispense drugs. Occasionally give them to the wrong people so that they collapse and maybe have a coronary. But
So yeah, an elderly and kind-hearted lady who goes around dispensing medicinal substances for the murder and effication of those nearby. Let us not forget your lauded feats of medical heroism, like that one time when you sold people paracetamol to cure their STIs, and that time when you slapped someone with a patch designed to detox their system and killed them instantly. But hey, twice. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, And that time when everyone blamed you entirely justly for that brothel burning down.
It was not me!
And yet you were blamed.
That was someone else. I just happened to be there.
Yeah, well, that's the real kicker of public opinion. Yeah, you were blamed. And then that other one that burned down when you were nearby. So a bit of a pattern.
There's nothing to do with me.
Well, the same person turns up around two identical crime scenes. Judgments are made.
Yeah, but how many times have I saved the guys' lives?
Well, neither of them have died yet, so exactly. It could be argued none at all. But anyway, there we are. One succinct introduction. It didn't take much time at all. Okay, who wants to jump in now? Just open it. Open it to the floor. Jump in, someone. Go.
Eivor.
Okay. I am Eivor, and tonight we'll be reprising the role of the Northern Wanderer. the brave and the gallant. Friend, man and animal alike. I'll be reprising my role as Zeke and his companion Scuzzle. And hopefully explaining to Morgan why we've only managed to bring a coat's worth of jars back instead of the ship's cargo's worth.
Yeah, that might be an interesting one to explain. But you know, you never know. Yes, I still don't appreciate all these foul lies that you're telling about Zeke's character, but we understand. Owning up is hard.
Not a word of a lie has been uttered so far.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yes, now we move to the true villain of the piece.
Yeah, all right. In her defence, Timi, who I'm playing, her body count has been particularly low this last half of the game. So, you know, I think she's just weighing up the options. At the minute, she's just very upset. For those of you who didn't meet Schmoopy, perhaps we ought to take just a moment to remember Schmoopy that some evil PM decided to obliterate when someone stuck a cricket bat in a ship.
Yes.
But yeah, she is deaf, angry, and quite likes the torture perk.
Yes. Yes, she does. Although, you know, let it be remembered that maybe Timmy's body count has dropped because the people you've been facing have been armed. Whereas previously, the body count was quite high among the unarmed.
I don't know. She's
especially in all those fires.
Yeah, all right.
And that time you throat shot someone who was offering to do something for you for money.
Maybe. Yeah, but she did also try and like cut the calf off of a soldier. So, you know.
Yeah.
She spreads the love. And she also loses her clothes a lot.
She does. She really, really does.
She was never meant to.
I make no judgments, but some might.
Some might. She is a character.
You also have partaken in the burning down of a brothel.
That was definitely her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was definitely her.
Yeah. And
Anita cannot be blamed for that one.
No,
and
Anita cannot be blamed for that.
Down a major suspect as well that Morgan wanted.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was that. And he cut off one of his fingers.
But that was for a trophy.
Yeah. An unwanted trophy. An unneeded trophy. An extraneous trophy, if you will. But anyway. There we are. So, having introduced our motley crew of miscreants, vile, no good scum, who are here to save the day, as only a crew of no good, vile, murderous scum can. We revisit the scene of lovable rogues.
Exactly.
No. Yeah? No. That crew with the films and the little raccoon, they were lovable rogues. You guys torture people in alleyways. You Yeah. Yes. You guys caused someone to commit suicide to escape you. Not so very long ago. Anyway, there we are. We revisit the scene in Ooze Town at the edge of the Salty Enclave, which is sandwiched between the mouth of the River Ooze, or the Ooze River, the sea, and the cliff upon which stands Big Al's fort. You have, for some time, been questing for a method of accessing the secret tunnel that leads from the Salty Enclave into the fort, or under the fort, more accurately. You went off on a fetch quest to retrieve some items necessary for Salt Captain Morgan's dream of taking the fort for herself and taking the first salty colony on the mainland. But you kind of cocked that up and ran the ship aground and disposed of most of the cargo, killing locals. So that was that. And here you find yourselves in the well-bombarded, burned-out shell of the Salties Enclave. You've previously walked through the heavily burned and bombarded, shelled, destroyed husk of Ooze Town. As you did, you found the bodies of many people you talked to previously. A building that you'd previously shopped in collapsed as you walked past, I seem to recall. Tim's Oddities shop. So here you find yourselves in the opening to the tunnel with Morgan and a few bedraggled salties, including a small child that once upon a time you bought some fishing line from. So
Timi still has bits of that line. She's still as much, not as much as they used to have, and it's a bit blood-stained and murky.
It's got an ear on the needle.
It has, or the needle's going through an ear, and then the twine is kind of wrapped around it. So she's going to unwrap that twine, so unthread it for the needle because she's keeping the needle, and hand over the twine to the kid and go, look, there you go, told you, bring it back.
The kid takes this. You're ignoring like the guns pointed at you and Morgan angrily demanding what the hell you're doing here, and to hand a child some rough yarn, basically.
I am salty of my word.
This kid stands there holding this horrible, gory yarn that's sort of chemical burned and covered in like, mouldering flesh. All right, thanks. You keep it. It's all right. They just sort of give it back to you. You see like a little tear. Like, this kid's clearly terrified of you. They possibly didn't know that you were keeping an ear on you as a brooch. Your lapel.
I suppose because it's got a finger as well.
Oh God.
Yeah,
this kid is utterly horrified. Yeah, the kid just turns back to Morgan, just like, I'll back out and watch, and just runs. You notice as they walk out, they pick up their like shitty kazoo flute thing that they were playing earlier, and they take it back out with them. They're clearly not coming back tonight. It's like, nope. So you're left here with Morgan and half a dozen bedraggled salties in a dark like cave, basically. The back of it's all
once the kid
full of rocks.
runs off, Timi would turn to Morgan, knowing that she's the only one that's talking salty at the moment. Yeah. All right, Morgan.
Are you all right? What you got for me?
Right. So you didn't mention that stuff you wanted, right? That stuff. It blew a fucking great big hole in the ship. It did.
Well, what did you think I wanted it for?
Right, that was one jar. We've got enough for another fucking great big hole. But we might have misplaced the rest.
Well, as long as you got enough for the job, It's might be okay. We gotta get through, or there's not much of a job to do.
Depends on what kind of destruction you want.
Some gestures down the tunnel, like there's a big old fucking rock slide. Like,
Should do it. And she'll turn to Anita and go, so we've still got some of those jars left.
Yeah, I've got a couple in my bag. I think there might be some more about somewhere as well. Zeke might have a couple.
Zeke at this point sort of undoes the bindle that is wrapped around the end of Tilly that is his coat, and sort of gets out the dozen or so jars he managed to salvage.
okay. Alright, we're going to say there's a dozen or so jars. Okay. Well, I know an easy way to do this. This makes it completely fair. What we shall do is all of you will roll a d4. Because you've been rattling these jars around and running around. And we'll find out, how many are intact.
I grabbed 3 and put them in my backpack. And I rolled 3.
And these are for the ones that Zeke had.
Right. I rolled a 2.
Yeah, so we have 5. What's Spanner's total? 2.
Definitely didn't press the mute button.
Okay, so we have 7.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have 7, and we have 10 in total then. We have 10 in total. 10 jars total. So, Morgan takes this in. She was expecting a couple of crates. And maybe some of that armour that they make out there. Sort of thing you could, possibly arm and, equip a decent sized force with. And she, alright then. And she looks around the half dozen bedraggled salties sitting in the dark with her in this cave. These are, there are more, but these are the ones who are sort of with her, clearly armed. These are the ones who are sort of mean business. If you're going to use sort of war film analogies, there are lots of people in the bomb shelter, but these are the guys who are in the resistance. Sort of thing. So yeah, goes and she turns and says in salty. So obviously, only Timi will pick this one up. She turns to one of the lads. There's a lass, but it's one of the lads. There's very sort of clearly a very masculine sort of air around this whole thing. And there's people looking very dirty and wearing men's clothes. And goes, did Jeff make it through? And you see this. You see someone who you probably would pass for salty if it wasn't for the fact quite clearly that they didn't have any salt burns on their face. I mean, it's quite common for salties, especially ones who go to sea, to have little burns from sea spray. This guy has absolutely immaculate skin somehow. Christ knows how. His hair's a complete mess and he's got a horrible scraggly beard. But, he looks like in another life he might have been a pretty boy. And he says in horrible broken salty, just nah. He says it in more words than that, but that's pretty much what you get. Both of you. All of you. He kind of says it in salty and then in English as well. To emphasise, maybe. Who knows? You get the impression that whoever they were hoping would do this ordnance placement isn't around. Or maybe hasn't made it. Shit. Okay. And Morgan turns to you. we've got the lads, but well, the lass I was hoping would place the bomb, she's not around. So, any you any good at that?
Sort of.
You mean blowing shit up?
Yeah.
Right up our street, that is. Great then.
Well, I heard that, but we kind of we want to blow shit up and be alive.
We're still alive.
Yeah, but we want to be alive.
Yeah.
The people near the shit you need to blow up. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
then
We might have been
choices,
behind
you know.
walls, but you've got a bit of a reputation for collateral.
Maybe. You know. Look, you move to a safe distance. You show us where you want the flames and stuff to be, then we'll burn shit down and you just don't die. Right? How's that?
Yeah, okay. Morgan, after a few minutes, she's like, okay. The other Salties, especially the pretty boy one, when you say a safe distance, he just looks out of the tunnel at the burning wreckage with a quizzical expression, like, okay. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily believe that anywhere out there where it's clearly already been bombarded by deadly, deadly mortar fire is safe. And they can leave the shelter of the tunnel they're in. Okay. Maybe. But yeah, the young and the old and the less resolved to resist start moving out of the tunnel under protection from some of the rougher looking types until it's pretty much just Morgan and the pretty boy. And there's another Salty sort of standing by the door who's just this sort of mass of burnt rags. You realise they were there all along, but you're not sure, you're not sure man, woman, rotter. They're just sort of... It's sort of like what happens if you've got a ghillie suit and made them sort of do a front roll through a furnace. Yeah, sort of a mass of burnt rags. But, they're standing there, they're holding a gun of some sort. And they don't seem to want to leave. It's like, well, it looks like this is our assault team then. Okay. Do your thing.
So, guys, how are we going to do this? We've got rocks, we need fire, we want to stay alive.
I suggest one jar at a time.
How many jars did you use when you burnt the ship down?
One small one.
One small one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are we going to get the fire to the jar inside a tunnel without being the fire as well?
You've got that string that the lad gave you. You can dip that in some of the stuff.
Okay. Yeah, like a bit sort of a wick, and we could. Okay, we could do that. How long is the tunnel?
The tunnel doesn't really go back that far at the moment. For the sake of argument, let's say it goes back about 10-15 metres. I mean, I say it didn't go back very far. There were, a couple of dozen people in here. That quickly sort of fills up when you've got no one wanting to go too close to the entrance.
Okay. In which case, Timi will take the yarn, wind it up into like a little reel, and ask one to whoever has the closest jar to open a jar so we can kind of dip it in.
Zeke will open one of the jars that he's got and sort of hold it at arm's length. There's no accounting for splashes here.
As soon as you remove the lid of the jar, there's sort of like a waxy seal to it as you break it sort of and open it. As soon as you do, the clear, slightly gelatinous substance within starts bubbling. Only gently at first, but the surface starts turning white, sort of darkening into like a lardy grey as it's exposed to the oxygen.
That's not going to be good. Okay, right. Let's get this thing over there. Lay it out.
Zeke definitely puts the top back on and heads over where Timi directed.
Okay. So you've dipped this string in the goo, pulled it back out.
Left the end in, with
Left
the
the
lid
end
going
in.
back in.
Put the lid back on loosely then, I suppose. Okay, cool. Okay, so I would like... Timi, you're the one doing this. I would like you to give me a crafting check. Nice, easy craft check.
Right. One craft.
It's been a long time since we've done any crafting.
Do you believe it has? Counting. 14.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you as you said, you reseal it. You're pretty sure that it's like just tight enough that the wick won't fall out, but it's not so tight that it like cuts the wick, or breaks like the bridge sort of connection. So you're pretty sure like the burning fumes will get through the lid. Fairly sure. Decently sure. Excellent. So now you have like 15 meters of tunnel, an exposed accelerant, 9 closed jars. What are you doing? Like this wick is fizzing.
Okay, so Timi is going to run towards the rocks with this thing. Gently, but run towards the rocks because we don't want to stay in this tunnel. And yell behind them to light it and run. So you've got fire starter, haven't you?
Yes.
Would you do the honours?
Zeke sort of from nowhere pulls a book of matches with a single match left in, and strikes it.
Where's the book of matches from?
The book of matches is from most of the front is like worn away, but you see the words ilks.
Fair enough. So yes, pull out your matchbook. Strike it. You gonna do the American thing, like you cup it and like lay it down next to the wick, or are you just gonna use the match?
Just use the match.
Fair enough.
And so at arm's length, and then as soon as it catches, leg it as fast as my less than useful legs right now will carry me.
Excellent. Yep. You light the wick and hobble back to safety. The mouth of the tunnel. Anita, what are you doing?
I'm staying out the way while these two do their usual idiotic thing.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you're. I'm going to assume you see what they're doing. You like as Zeke strikes this match, you basically grab him by the other arm and pull him down the tunnel. It's neither of us are going. I'm not going to stay here, and if this all goes wrong, at least you're going to be between me and the explosion.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially as I said, we should do it sort of one jar at a time and not put the whole lot down there.
Yep. Okay, so Timi,
Yes.
you have a jar of something horrible. Just one of your 10 jars, I assume.
Yeah, just the one.
Yeah. You have a not unmanageable length of string that's already burning.
Yep.
And about 10 meters between you and where you need to be.
Okay. So this, what was meant to be like a wildy coyote bomb, has just turned into a Molotov cocktail.
Okay. So the question is, are you placing this bomb somewhere for maximum effect and probably dying? Or are you throwing this bomb and hoping you don't die?
If I place it, I'm going to die.
The likelihood is decent. You have no idea how quickly this line is going to burn.
True.
You have never tested this.
No.
All you know is that this explodes violently and burns very hot.
Yeah. At the risk of knowing that Roasty is watching this, I don't want this going off in my hand. So I'm throwing it. So I want us to be out, not in when this goes.
Fair.
So strength
That will be an explosives.
and explosives. Oh, good. Lovely.
Because an important part of the explosive skill is knowing how to throw an explosive.
Yeah. Okay. How's a 7?
I mentioned that I have skill in
You ran away.
explosives.
You also spoke up when someone asked if anyone had skill in explosives, so it's all good. But yeah, you have thrown an explosive device. It arcs through the air beautifully. In fact, if you had been outside on a clear day, with all of God's heavens above you, this would have been a beautiful throw. Unfortunately, you're in a cramped tunnel with all of a fucking enormous hill above you. Yeah, the jar arcs from your hand gracefully. It sails up, and it smashes against the ceiling about 8 meters down the passageway from you, and it splatters this goo all over the rock face that you were meant to be trying to sort of place it against. As the jar shatters, the wick falls to the floor with the rim of the jar as the goo splatters, and you see it hit. The fire is still trailing up the wick, and you have a few moments to realise at this point that this was not a good throw. What are you doing?
Moving to a safe distance to watch, to see quite how much flame this is going to create.
You have no time. You can see this wig is burning very quick. You can see it spreading. Where it's hitting little pockets of goo that are splattered onto the floor, you can see little flares of fire. You probably have about 8 to 10 inches of wick left. What are you doing?
Running? I'm
Okay.
running.
You're running. Okay. Right. We've established you have 10 meters of... Yeah, you have about 10 meters of passage behind you. Yeah. Why not? You give me a reflex. How quickly you can turn and start running.
I can.
Everyone
give you
else?
legend points.
Okay. You're going to do a legendary point reroll on that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, because I botched.
Okay.
But then I crit.
Nice. Yeah. The minute you hear the glass shatter against the ceiling, you're turning. On your heel. You're already like, shit! Maybe even before that. Maybe that's why your throw went wide. As soon as you released, you used the turn. You looked over your shoulder like, shit! Right. Everyone else, roll me a d4. Excellent. Right.
Uh-oh.
Right. So, we won't be rolling one of those, or one of those, one of those, or one of those. Okay. Right. You're about a metre shy of the opening of the tunnel when the fireball catches up with you.
Good.
You get thrown 22 metres out of the tunnel. And yeah, that's not great for you. So, first of all, let's roll some fire damage. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. How much health do you have?
At the minute,
Yeah.
10.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. You took 7 fire damage.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you hit the rubble. Oh. You take 3 damage from the rubble as you hit that.
Yep.
Okay. What's your total now?
0.
0. Okay, good. Right. Give me a what should we have? What should we make this? Give me a exposure save.
4 total.
Oh, okay. Right, guys. You see Timi fly past you at great speed, on fire. She flies over the ruined building immediately across, sort of the way from you, and hits the one behind it. You can see she's still on fire.
As Timi
Nonetheless,
goes,
you can hear groaning.
as Timi goes, you just see, you just hear Zeke go, "Oh, first time for everything, I suppose. Not seen people fly before."
Right. Right, what is your current total, Timi?
18.
I mean, your current...
Oh, my current?
Yeah.
No, 0. Just
Zero. Just zero.
Yep. Completely,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly
unconscious.
at 0. Woo. You know. Nice. Right. Now, you two, you can see fire. You the passageway is just full of flame and smoke right now. You can hear sort of rocks moving. But more immediately, you can hear like pained groaning behind the building behind the one across the way. There is clearly someone struggling to remain conscious while on fire over there.
I run over to try and put her out. Have I got some? I grab Zeke's coat off him and leg it towards Timi and just wrap her in the coat to put her out.
Okay. Okay. I think that's a straight up medic.
Yeah.
This is a fire blanket pat down.
That would be 17.
Fair enough. I mean, she's only, shrouded in burning gaseous fumes. Yeah, you smother it out. You sort of, you smother her for a while. It's the coat works for this almost like it was made for it. It's dense. It's non-breathable. It's almost perfect for the purpose of smothering flames on someone's person. It's almost like Zeke had it made for this. Although clearly he didn't. And as it comes away, the lining is just ruined. Utterly ruined. The tough outer fabrics have stood up fairly well to everything that anything could throw at them for years and years, but the inner lining was made of something quite fancy once. And little like melted ribbons of it are stuck to Timi's back.
Oh.
It was clearly some kind of, synthetic bullcrap. You find that underneath all of the filth and grit and dirt and blood and Christ knows what, it was once a lovely bright shade of green. You realise this by the fact that the little burnt on scrads of plastic embedded in Timi's back are bright green. A wonderful sort of lime green, in fact. Apparently that's the colour the backing cloth was before it got dirty. The fire is out. She's still smouldering gently. You notice that now the back of Timi's head is hairless. Sort of like a slipped tonsure, almost my haircut backwards.
Like a reverse mullet.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard business at the back, play at the front, but okay. Yeah, you've got a fashionable pyro reverse mullet. But as you as you kneel down and check, the groans have stopped, but there is a very, very weak pulse.
Okay. What drugs do I still have?
That's got to be the best phrase of the entire game ever.
A blaze of glory.
What drugs do I still have?
Well, yes. Right. While we're doing that, Zeke, what are you doing? Your coat has been rudely snatched from you.
As it's been sort of borrowed and run away with. Zeke is Zeke is going to take sort of four of these jars up in one arm, and sort of one by one launch them down the 15, 20 meters of burning tunnel. And is in fact going to burn 2 legendary points to make it happen.
You're just going to chuck the 2? Or you're
No.
going to unload them all?
I'm going to unload them all bar 1.
Okay. Jesus God. Okay. Okay. When you guys pulled the jars earlier, Anita, did Anita give up her jars to the pool?
No,
Or did you keep them on you?
kept them on me.
Okay. Whew. Jesus God, yeah. Okay, so you have 8 jars. You're throwing 7 jars down this goddamn. Okay. Alright. Okay. Here's what we'll do. Easy way to do this. So I should roll all of these dice. Holy crap. Leroy! Oh, Jesus. Okay. So, 16. Yeah. You chuck all these jars down there. As we said, you've burnt your legendary points, so you succeed, but in a somewhat mediocre and workaday fashion. Yeah, the side of the hill starts to sort of slough away like a cake in the rain. As the tunnel just completely collapses from this side of the blockage down, pretty much. What you're left with, standing in the doorway sort of thing, is an arch protecting you from an enormous mudslide, basically. That just parts around this archway as the explosion blows up through the hill. And as you stand there, the Salties all run out of the cover they were in to the side to join you. Oh God! What have you done? And you and a couple of dozen Salties, loosely trailed by Anita and Timi's little ER scene over there, stand next to a recently excavated hole in the side of a large hill. And within this hole, you can see the tunnel leading into the fort, into the underworks of the fort.
Hearing this explosion, Anita's just gonna look at and shout at Zeke, "You're only supposed to blow the blockage out."
Oh God.
Timi's going to kind of be in her weird haze of just kind of in and out unconsciousness. Is just going to raise a single arm and go, and then go back into unconsciousness.
And then Zeke will look to Morgan and go, "Well, passage is clear now. Might want to give it a few minutes to cool off."
As you stand there making a snarky comment to Morgan, who's looking none too pleased with the fact you just collapsed a hill on the place that she's in charge of, bits of the outer wall of the fort above start to fall in. One of the guns that was firing out over the town just falls into an enormous cascade of rocks and mortar and bricks. Just completely mangled. You hear a scream, but you don't see anyone. Yeah. You're pretty sure that you've ruined someone's day. And soiled someone's uniform quite nicely. Well, probably a few people. But yes, you now have an entrance to the tunnels under the fort. Hooray! Dramatically less fort and hill. But still, huzzah! And we're just like, you're a fucking nutter. You can't trust a northerner to do this. The pretty boy and the rest of the odd-looking ones, and all the kids and the young and the old, just standing there agog. I mean, they barely fully grasped the concept of land. They've never seen a landslide. This is something. This is astounding. This is a truly tectonic level of explosion.
All I've really done is prove to them that the land and the sea aren't that different. Both move under the right conditions.
Yes, but there are people who live on the land and know this all their lives, and when they get killed in mudslides, it still shocks them. You have made a land tsunami. 2, in fact. But yes. So, you're standing there, cracking wires about destroying a beautiful natural feature with a wonderful ancient piece of British history upon it. So, back to the urgent medical necessities. Timi, you're bleeding enormously. Anita, Timmy's bleeding enormously and burned and pummeled.
I believe I still have a little bit of a tube of something with the phrase "von" on the end of it.
Something. Phrase what?
It looks like there's an S and then an ON.
Who knows?
Kind of a blue pair. Have I? I'm sure I had some cream. Yes, I have some cream.
Have some cream.
I have some cream. I have some of that cream that. Did I have some of that cream that Captain Morgan had? I thought I did.
I think Morgan had some special healing whiskey, but you drank it all.
We did. We drank all that.
Yeah.
We did.
You should have some of the liniment that's been keeping Zeke upright.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
It does work for burns.
Yeah, I'm going to put some of that on.
Okay. 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 So the Salties crest over the wreckage. They come finding their erstwhile hero, who may or may not have just given her life in the furtherance of their crusade against these assholes. And they find you slathering this thick glue, like almost like school PVA glue, but sort of light green, all over the naked, burned body of someone who's groaning in pain, or barely conscious, with a sort of innovative reversed mohawk, reversed goddamn
mullet.
Yeah, a slipped tonsure, reversed mullet, whatever you want to call it. My God. So yeah, they're not sure how to take that. Like, hooray, our hero! Like, it's easy to celebrate a martyr, and it's easy to celebrate a survivor. It's hard to celebrate someone getting a peculiar massage. They're like, some of them seem to be trying, like mustering the courage to stop Anita, because whatever she's doing is weird. Some want to applaud her for trying to help. The roiling mass of confused people is looking a little unsure of what's happening. What's going on down there?
Healing salve. Worked on Zeke's legs. It's a salty make.
Well, if it's salty make, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, I suppose. It's okay! It's of salty make! Okay, at this point, Morgan just stumps down. Her legs are clearly giving her some trouble. Leg braces aren't great for rubble. The pretty lad is walking at her elbow, like steadying her when she needs it. And every time she does, she kind of shoots him a dirty look. Comes over. She's like, she actually does that. He rubs the bridge of her nose. It's like, for Christ's sake, why can't you just do the job without killing anyone?
Hit them, not me.
It would be okay if you didn't set everyone on fire. It really would, love.
Was I involved in that?
I saw what I saw. Anyway,
I was going to give you some painkillers for your legs, but I'm not going to bother now.
Yeah. Well, Sergeant then. And she turns and she removes something from inside her jacket, and she hands it to the pretty boy, who hurriedly gets down on his knees and, without really asking anyone, just rolls Timi over and uncorks a small bottle of something brown and treacly looking.
What are you doing to my patient?
Fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And he pours something truly vile down your throat. It tastes like fire and treacle and barbecue sauce. But you can taste, which is an upside to just agony. Huzzah! And you regain an entire 3 hit points.
Yay! I'm alive!
You are alive. Are alive.
Anita, why do I look like you?
You're alive and severely burned. The liniment crusted on your back starts to form like a hard skin. It's quite hard to move. But, it could be worse. So, hey! Right. This point Morgan's like, right, well. So, you better get on then. Come on. We can't go lollygagging around here all day.
What are we doing now?
In the tunnels. Do the job.
We did the job. We opened the tunnel.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Do the job. Investigate where all the missing Salties are. Find out what Al's up to. Possibly stop him. He did kill dozens of people trying to do it. Burn down the entire town. Shell the Salty Enclave.
I'm kind of guessing that's what he was to do.
So you didn't want us to burn down the brothels?
Oh, love, no one wanted you to burn down the brothels. It's the only good thing in this town.
Well, we left a couple.
You left one.
I'm pretty sure there is one that we didn't visit. You know. And Rachel's is fine. They seem to be quite good at self-defense.
Well, yeah. I'll give you that. Rachel's is fine. But, not too keen on the lads.
No, I guess not. Right then. So
Madam Nuches is also fine. I'd just like to say. Madam Nuches is still fine as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And closer, so convenience and all that.
It's the furthest away. It's the other end of the town. Okay.
You're reading the wrong maps.
Fair enough. So, burned, beaten, drugged.
In the tunnel.
Okay. Does Zeke retrieve his coat, or does he lend it to his friend who might need it a little more than him?
Lost more clothes.
So seeing Timmy's return state of undress,
Sort of 2/3 undressed. I imagine like the collar of like if she was wearing a shirt might be intact, like the front might be intact, but like pockets back, things are gone, or at least severely damaged.
It's like a hospital gown.
It's more like a very long bib.
Yeah, I think Zeke will allow Timmy the temporary use of his coat until she can find a blue coat upstairs somewhere.
Fair enough.
And yeah, he's still armored, so we'll turn to sort of Jerry, who is fairly skittish probably after the sudden string of explosions, and say, "Sorry, lad, we're gonna go find Herbert now."
Yeah. Jerry jumps off your pack and runs up the hill into the tunnel. Yeah. And every few meters he turns and looks over his shoulder like, "Nyah!" Points his head towards the tunnel.
And sort of, as the other two get there, Zeke will follow him up.
So Zeke's taking lessons in boldness, but not stupidity. He's leading the way, but while waiting for his fellows. Excellent. So yes, you climb back up the screed. You come to the opening into the tunnels. You find in the opening of the tunnel as you go in. You find evidence that this tunnel has was quite clearly collapsed on purpose. You find burned fuse wire, there's a reel of fuse wire sort of thing there, and there's burned fuse wires and bits of debris. And there's crates that were quite clearly used for carrying explosives. Once they were used, people just didn't feel the point in going back into the dangerously compromised tunnel to move them. And
I grab the reel of unused fuse wire.
Nice. Good choice. And you head on inside. So, are you taking the Salties in with you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. So, yeah. Morgan's going to come in with you. She's going to bring in 4 of her tough folk with her, who she introduces to you as Leroy, Jackson, Chewie, and Charlie. So yes. There you are. You have the names of your glorious friends who will follow you into the jaws of hell. So she's like, she turns to Charlie, who is the pretty boy with the gappy beard, and you with me, lad? Yeah, which seems to be the way that these things are kind of going. Yeah, he's a walking stick, come inventory, come assistant. So Chewie, Jackson, and Leroy, yeah, we're all following you guys. She leads you a little way into the tunnel, and then sort of she sits down and says, "Right, we'll hold it here. We'll make sure no one follows us. We'll hold the retreat. When you find our lads, you're going to need to be able to get out. So, me and Charlie here, we'll be the rear guard."
I think Zeke will nod and then say, I'll take up ahead, make sure our knocking hasn't brought too many down, eh? And sort of as stealthily as possible, make his way up.
Okay, give me some stealth then.
9 plus 8. So a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, you sneak on up into the complete fucking darkness. Yeah, whatever else people have done down here, they haven't bothered to put lighting in. So you move out of like the area that's still catching light through the cocking enormous hole in the side of this hill. Congratulations. And you very shortly come to like the first forking of ways. One goes straight along, and the other has a few steps up and heads off to the left.
Up and left.
Excellent. Always turn left. Right. Cool. So you head up and to the left. Are you going to leave any sign that that's what you're doing, or are you just going to scout ahead?
I think we'll send Jerry back to say, you go get the others, lad, and bring them this way. I'm going up here. And then sort of gesture and hope his night vision sort of somewhat better than mine, but...
Fair enough. Yep. And Jerry's... and just legs it. You can hear him scampering off. No, he's large enough that he makes a decent sort of decent scamper. So yeah, are you taking your dude along with you, or are you going to leave your companion Salty?
I'm going to leave my companion Salty with the group.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so yeah. Anita and Timi, you are left with Chewie, Jackson, and Leroy in the dark as Zeke creeps off. So yes, goes without saying, all this period we're in the dark. Timi is effectively completely deaf. You can't see what people are signalling unless they have a light. So huzzah! That's going to be an interesting way to play a game. Going to result in purely audio descriptions of visual things. Oh god. Huzzah! Okay, so everyone else apart from Timi, here's lots of scampering and panting. I mean, down the hallway, it gets louder and oh goddamn louder in that horrible way that things moving down a tunnel do. Before you feel the familiar weight of Jerry climbing your trouser leg, sitting on your shoulder, Anita, and he looks at you with all of the ferocious intelligence that you're aware of, because I believe you have night vision. Do you not?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, as a perk. To the bottom of your sheet. I seem to recall someone did.
Zeke's got it.
Zeke's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Or did you not end up with it in here?
I didn't get it in the
Okay.
end.
Right, well, we'll assume that you might have just enough light, or you have a good enough sense of what's going on around you to sort of grasp it. Jerry climbs up your shoulder leg. He sits on your shoulder and he just like pulls your ear, like yeah.
What's that, Jerry? Timmy's down the well? No, Timmy's just over there.
Yeah. 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 And you hear him. You hear him like jump back off, and he goes a short way back, and you can hear him stop, and he starts like yammering at you.
I think Jerry wants us to follow him.
Okay, so Chewie, and Jackson, and Leroy, and Anita just start walking off. Timi, what are you doing?
As I feel one of them walk past me, I don't know which one it is, but I'm going to grab a shoulder, so they can kind of lead me down the corridor.
Okay, yeah. You feel like two people walking past you. You put a hand out and you think you've grabbed the second one. It's a fairly short person. They feel quite slight, but they feel sort of sturdy, but small. And you follow them along. They don't seem to be like batting you away or anything. So yeah, you follow along. You have no idea what's going on. No one has stopped to explain anything or made a light or done anything to help elucidate this experience. You're just in the dark, in the silence. Huzzah!
Yeah,
Um,
brilliant.
Yeah.
They did say that Jerry wanted us to follow.
Yes. Oh yeah, but it's dark and she can't lip read you in the dark.
She's stuffed.
Yeah. Until someone makes a light. She's like, oh shit, what's happening? But yes, you get led along to this branching of the ways. So Zeke, yeah, you have headed up the stairs onto the left. What are you going to do now? Are you going to sneak along? Are you going to wait for people to come and find you? I mean, I assume the purpose of scouting is to scout.
If I've not heard anyone sort of ahead of me, I'll sort of continue on as stealthily as I can, as far as I can get, until I reach like a door or anything to that effect.
Okay. Okay, as you're moving along, obviously your night vision is, par excellence. So as you're moving along, you're basically vaguely aware of where the walls are. I mean, you don't magically create light, but your awareness in the dark is better than most. You gain a feeling for sort of where the walls are. You appreciate the very slight differences in the grain of the darkness. Sort of where tiny amounts of light are being let in from somewhere, or where backscatter from one end of the tunnel or the other is coming. And you're aware as you head further down, there is more light. Not enough for most people to see by easily, but enough for you to notice that the tunnel is very slowly moving off to the right. It's also very slowly inclining downward, which is odd, but oh well. As you follow downwards, you're pretty sure that there is there's human noise coming from further down. Not sure if it's people moving or voices, but it gives the suggestion that you're not alone down here with animals. It doesn't sound mechanical.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Sort of when I start to hear the noise, I'll stop where I am and wait for the others to catch up.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll take Jerry back as to do something similar, to sneak ahead and then send him back to say the coast is clear.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take very long. A few minutes after you sort of stop, after you notice there's an appreciable difference in the sort of the light level, you hear Jerry coming up behind you again, and he hops up, onto your hand, and you're just about aware of his form against the darkness behind him, sort of thing. And you get a very, very, very dull silhouette against the deeper tone of dark. His deeper darkness against the slightly lighter darkness behind him, and you see him sort of pointing behind you and like slapping his head. He takes up station on your shoulder, holding on to the buckle straps over your shoulder of your leather vest. So yeah.
But when the rest catch up, I'll say, "You lot wait here a second. I'll nip on down, and I can hear folk up ahead."
I'm going to, at this point, make a perception check for your mooks. Ooh, yeah. The slender chap that Timi has her hand on turns to Timi, taps her on the shoulder, and takes her hand gently off, puts it on someone else's hip, and edges forward, and he says in his very best practiced English, "Someone." Just points up there. He's heard the same thing as you. Someone. And you get the impression from the sounds and the shape of his silhouette changing that he's unlimbering something heavy.
Go. I'm just going to go, shh, go, and then sort of audibly tap my breastbone, or breastplate, and then sort of sneak on down a bit further.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. After you make a few steps, you become aware very quickly that this person is following you, just walking normally, standing at full height. They're not loud, but they're not making any real effort to be quiet either.
I will sort of lay both hands out on his shoulders and give him a gentle grip and say, "Stay." And then
go. You hear him patting his chest. And he brandishes his heavy thing.
Zeke just sort of shakes his head and sort of looks back at the other two. Looks back past Anita and Timi to the other two Salties and says, sort of fairly quietly, "Either of you two speak normal?"
One of them pipes up. You see, it's dark. You're looking into the darker portion. One says, me? Speak. Yes. What?
Tell your mate here to wait for me to signal back, okay?
And this person walks up, just like, full on like crunching gravel, grumbling, crunch, 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 and you hear the unmistakable sound of someone young and stupid being slapped around the head. And whatever the salty word for wait is. Possibly whatever translates to stupid boy. Yes.
And now, divested of my burden, I will carry on ahead.
Okay. The third mook brings Timi up to where the younger, less experienced mook is standing. It's just about light enough for you to make out silhouettes of each other. So you sort of, you're aware. You can see that Zeke is vanishing into the darkness again. But you're aware that you're surrounded by fellows, and you can make like big overt hand gestures at each other for things. But yeah. So Zeke, you're sneaking off again. Give me another stealth.
Ooh, hello. That is a crit.
Bing. Okay, sweet.
Which is like total of 20.
Yes. Okay. You're sneaking along. Give me a perception actually while you're doing that as well. Just see where the comedy goes on this.
9 and 4, 13.
Okay.
So.
Yep. You're sneaking along. You make an executive decision to turn left again at the next fork. And Jerry hops down to point whoever's coming along that way. There's light coming down from both of the tunnels, but the noise seems to be coming from the left one. So Jerry can now be seen fairly well, sort of almost twilight light. Light out on a night with a full moon. You can't make out colours, but shapes close up are quite easy. So Jerry sort of stands there, doing the air traffic control thing, and you head off once again towards the light. And before you know it, you realise that you've walked into a room. You've snuck into a room, and you're just about to turn around and go back to Jerry when you realise there's someone between you and Jerry, facing the other way. And you realise this as they spark a cigarette. Clearly there was some guard leaning against a wall, just like didn't see shit. Who you've snuck past, gone, a room. Turn around and he goes, tsh. He's facing away from you, but you can see like the glow of a cigarette being drawn. And oh, thank fuck for that. It's been a while since I've had one of these. Oh, always love getting sent down at the supply cellars. Oh.
I think at this venture Zeke will just straight unholster Tilly.
Okay.
Using the butt end of the rifle, we don't need we don't need shots going off down here just yet.
No.
Sort of lamp him in the back of the head.
Okay. Make a lamping someone in the back of the head with a rifle butt roll.
Don't know that one.
You can always invoke the ancient rule of if you lose the dice, it's a botch.
That is a dirty 11.
Dirty 11. Okay. Ooh. In the dark, but against an unaware opponent. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You make contact, but in a highly unsatisfying way. Give me some damage.
Okay. So
It's a standard RMCC.
RMCC. So is it plus my strength or just plus the total of my RMCC?
That includes your strength.
4 plus 4.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You swing Tilly at them in the dark, almost like a pickaxe. Like, fuck, he died. And like, it does that thing. You hit them in the head in the way that demonstrates why you shouldn't hit people in the head. No, heads are designed for this. You crack this poor bastard on the back of the head, like at an unsatisfying angle. It just like skitters off and cracks him in the shoulder. Like he folds, like he hits the ground. Like, he like rolls on his cigarette and goes like, "Oh shit!" But he's clearly like not unconscious or dead. He's just like you just hit a man on the head very hard and hurt him.
The good thing is though, as soon as he goes down, I can sort of jump on him from behind and sort of try and bludgeon him into unconsciousness while he's on the floor.
Yes. Those of you furnished with hearing in the darkness, you loudly hear someone swear. You hear a thud and someone swearing.
Oh crap! What's he up to now?
The shorter lither man in the tunnel with you turns instantly, pulls out something large and heavy from under his coat, and runs down the corridor shouting something that sounds a little bit like Jenkins. Zeke, you're standing here in the semi darkness. You're just sort of recoiling. You're bringing Tilly up maybe for another sweep or something. You know, you're just sort of regathering yourself, and you hear Jenkins when a Salty appears out of the darkness and thwaps this guy on the neck with something very, very large. Oh, and botches hard.
That's about right.
Yeah. Whatever this large, heavy object was, it's now 2 smaller, medium-sized objects. Okay. Whoa. Right. One of which immediately rams itself into Leroy's groin. The guard lets out a grunt, but Leroy lets out a larger one. As he pitches over the guard into the wall, taking 3 damage. So huzzah! Leroy 3. But yeah, the guard is clearly still alive. You hear him use like, "What the fuck?" Hit in the head and then clunked in the neck. But yes, he lives still. Jesus God. Right. What is everyone doing? You now have like a confused tangle of people laying on each other in the dark.
I grab hold of Timi and start running down the corridor towards all this shouting to find out what the hell Zeke is up to this time.
Okay. Okay. Right.
I think for Zeke it's just a case of whack again and hope that this one either finishes it or at least knocks him unconscious.
Okay. Right, yeah, okay. Make your unarmed CC.
That's less good. A dirty 12.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Right, there's easy way to solve this one. Well, being that we all know who this character is named in honour of, I would like... Spaz, can you roll me a d6?
Yeah.
And on any odd, Leroy catches a blow from Tilly.
It's a 6.
Excellent. Excellent. Right. Give me some damage. Damage for the guard.
6.
Nice. Okay, yeah. You bring down Tilly again. There's another satisfying crunch. Why? Why is this happening to me? God damn. Okay. Whew. Ouch. Unpleasant. You are not nice to these guards. So. Yeah. You hear something go like clunk and possibly like crunch underneath Tilly. But you have no idea what you've hit. You've just hit a writhing mass that consists of at least 2 adults writhing on the floor in the dark. But you're pretty sure you've hit the right one. So hey. Right. There's a little time there. Right. Everyone else now turns up. You have a tangled mass of groaning men on the floor. You have a Zeke with a rifle swinging at them like some kind of demented golfer. Like trying to make his like perfect golf swing on a putting range. Or driving range, isn't it? Yeah, a driving range. Just pummeling this poor bundle of humanity. So yes. You have Chewie and Jackson standing there for a moment trying to work out what the hell is going on. What are Anita and Timi doing?
Do we have any more lights at this point?
There's enough light to see sort of shapes, but not like facial expressions at this point. So you can see what's going on, but you probably couldn't carry on a very good conversation. It would be crude hand gestures, sort of thing.
Is there any buckets of liquid in this room?
Not that you see instantly running in. Like you could have a look for a bucket of liquid, but mainly you can see crates.
Okay. In that case...
Zeke, you're cognizant of the fact the guard said supply sellers.
Damn it, I don't have that bottle anymore.
So you don't have your glow jar.
No, we blew that.
Yeah, I know. That would have been
It's
really
not
handy.
that one I'm after.
Ah.
It was the bottle of dandelion and burdock that I could tip over them.
No, you glugged it.
Yeah, I drank that.
Zeke will look up and go, look up at the rest of them and go, bit of help?
Okay. On the call of a bit of help. The one that was talking previously, the salty that talks English, lunges forward. Ooh, yes. And grabs one of the bodies from the tangled pile and puts it in a rather painful-looking lock and pulls it away. He's like just restraining. He doesn't know who it is. So it's like, arms arms in like under the armpits, hands behind the head. It's like, it's like, which? He doesn't know what's going on. He wants to know which one to hurt.
Can I make out whether that's a salty or a guard?
It's pretty much just outlines at this point. You can
Would
make
Zeke know
light.
which one's which?
Hmm?
Because he's seen the guard's face pretty much. Hey.
Yeah, Zeke's got night vision.
And he was having a smoke when I came in, so...
Oh yeah. Well, you would also be able to notice like the difference between someone wearing a blue denim jacket and someone wearing Salties clothes. Yeah. You can take a look at the guy. Give me a perception check anyway. Yeah, just because you can see doesn't mean you do.
It's a bit dark, you know.
That sounds marginal. That sounds very marginal.
That was a 2 on the dice, so 6 in total.
Oh. You're not sure. With all the writhing around and the dark and the motion, you just don't know. You're more you're more keyed up for just hitting whatever moves at this point. That's sort of where you are in this situation. What's Timi doing?
I think Timi's just a little bit confused at the minute. She's in pain. She's in the dark. She can't hear anything. She keeps being dragged from different place to place by people she may or may not know. And there seems to be something squishy on the floor. I think she would notice that there's something on the floor and potentially wondering if it's one of her friends. Like kind of feel around to see if that was someone she recognised, or maybe even like a piece of clothing she recognised. So
Okay.
would you know by feel if it was Salty's clothes?
Normally, yes. They're normally very hard worn and like homespun.
Okay, so could she roll a perception?
Yeah.
Okay. $12.
Yeah, you grab whoever it is on the floor. And they quite clearly have lapels with riveted buttons.
Right.
And as you're like patting the front of this jacket, you find a small cigarette burn.
Okay.
Like with a cherry red ember still in it.
Okay. So yeah, as she feels the rivets, she's gonna kind of just go from this to this, and hold onto those lapels, and just shout at whichever shapes happen to be around her. Oi, we've got a guard here. What's bloody hell going on?
Okay. So we now have a situation where we have Anita looking for a bucket of liquid.
Yeah, now she's had that
Yep.
though, she's gonna stop and just turn around and kick.
Anita looking for so as a free frame we have Anita looking for a bucket of liquid.
Mm-hmm.
We have Zeke just lining up for a swipe at whoever looks bad. Sort of peering at someone with a rifle raised up to smash. We have Timi on the floor going, "It's him!" We have Chewie with someone in a headlock. We have Leroy, in a headlock. We have Jackson standing nearby, just like, what the fuck is going on? At this point, fuck it, yeah, why not? At this point, lights flicker on. Nice, bright, electric lights. Yeah. After a few moments, you hear people running into the room. They clearly are as startled by the lights as you. You get the impression there aren't electric lights all over this place. There's some in here. There's actually 2 electric lights. There's one at either end of the room. They're clearly emergency lights that haven't been on for some time. The one at your end flickers out a few seconds after it comes on. And it's like a little fizz, a pop. And the bulb just goes poof. A little spray of sparks. Because it wouldn't be cinematic if it didn't burst. So yes. And you are met by the sight of 4 blue coats running in from the other end of the room. And now, given the sight of this room, you realise that on either side of this room, there are Salties in cages. Families of Salties in cages. Crude wooden cages. Made of crates and canvas and rope. And short lengths of chain.
That may change my initial plan. I say may. So I still have one of these jars left.
You do? Still have one of these jars left?
Families of Salties. Families.
I pull out my knife and start hacking at the rope holding the cages together.
Okay. You rush over to one of the cages and start hacking at ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Timi, you're on your knees with a blue coat dangling from your fists.
Timi is going to look up to see her brethren in cages, and potentially at this point just go full beast mode. She is going to take the young chap that she currently has by the lapels and just slam his head into the floor with the intention of him staying down. Did he have a weapon?
None that you've seen. You jumped this guy while he was unaware, and he's been on the floor being pummeled since. Pretty much.
Did he have a lighter?
Yeah. Well, he had something that he made a light with.
Okay. Would I be able to find that on his person?
Given a few moments, of leisure, probably.
Yeah, but we don't really have that, do we?
Yeah.
Okay. So in which case, is there anything solid looking that Timi can pick up at this point? Preferably with nails sticking out.
I thought you were slamming this man's head against the floor.
I just slammed his head against the floor and went to then pick up a weapon.
Ah, okay. Did you not have anything heavy, possibly with nails in it, to slam against him initially?
No, because...
Would Zeke have had anything heavy in his pockets of his coat?
Ooh.
What did Zeke keep in the pockets of his coat?
There may have been one of the cudgels from the guards that we may have gently incapacitated in the house when someone got nail gunned through the soft palate.
Yeah,
There
Okay.
might be one of those in the lining of his coat, just as a backup.
Fair enough.
That'll do.
Yes. You you thrust your hand into this coat pocket on the side that's been like weighing you down slightly, and you tear off like the two stitches that join it to the lining, so it doesn't fall out, and you pull out what is essentially like a leather kosh. It's probably not made of leather, but hey, it works in a similar manner.
Nice. So yeah, she's gonna run at the nearest blue coat.
Okay. Abandon the dude you just slammed against the floor and run across the room. Cool. Okay.
He is down. He's staying down. She has ones that are not currently staying down.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you've started to run across the room. Jackson's going to follow you. Leroy's still in a headlock. Chewie's still holding him. Right. So, Zeke, what are you doing? You've got a gun at the ready, about to hit Leroy in the face. And now there's light. You know it's Leroy.
I'm going to wave Jackson to let him go. And it is this guy that Timi is just sort of abandoned half dead. Looking like he's about to get up.
He's looking pretty severely dazed. He's not dead, but he's unhealthy.
I think...
Let's put it this way: he's far less healthy than the 4 able-bodied people who just entered the room.
I genuinely think, Zeke being Zeke, he would move towards the back, and in doing so, with his nice shiny leg braces, try and stamp on this guy's head as he goes past.
Timi has taught you well.
Okay. Yeah. Do your unarmed CC as you walk past.
Dirty 11.
A dirty 11. So yeah, I'm gonna say the blow lands, but you're not actually practiced at stomping people in the head. So I'm not going to make you roll damage, but I'm also not going to tell you what the result is.
Okay.
You hear him grunt, and he doesn't move. You now have a body sandbag to hide behind if you wish.
Yeah. As soon as he stops, Zeke is going to sort of get Tilly into a firing position and use this guy's chest as a tripod.
Nice. Okay. Right. So, Anita, cutting through ropes. Right. I would make you make a roll, but it just seems sort of banal and pointless. Because you've got a knife and there are ropes. So yeah, we shall say that you shall use this time that they've spent doing this, cutting ropes. You have a cage open. There are 5 salties inside, 3 of them young children.
I go, head the way we came, head that way, and point towards the tunnel. Captain Morgan's that way.
They
Run.
look at you terrified. At the word Morgan, they look hopeful, but the rest of it, you might as well have just been screaming nonsense.
I yell towards Timi. Yell towards Chewie. Little help here. Make them go. And hope like hell that he understands what I'm saying.
Yep. Chewie runs over. He pulls a cudgel out from under his jacket. He throws it to one of the adults. He pulls a small knife out from his boot. He hands it to one of the older kids. He takes the smaller of his many guns off of his belt and hands it to one of the adults. He pushes the children to the back of the room and he points the rest to the front and goes, "Help! Go!" And the adult raises the pistol and just starts firing blindly in the general direction of bad guys. Let's give it a shot. No. Yeah. There is now gunfire in the room. There is gunfire, an armed child, and an armed teenager.
I shrug and run to the next cage to try and get that one open.
Okay. You now have 3 more helpers. Cool. Right. So, we shall have... Now, we have Bluecoats noticing you guys. Working... Oh, for God's sake. God's sake. Okay. They have all rolled terribly for perception. They know that something's happening, but they're not entirely sure what. One runs in. He's got a... Oh, Christ, what was... He's got a black band around his arm. This guy's quite clearly a little larger than the other 3 guys. He's got something in his hands that resembles a rifle. It appears to have some manner of banana clip on it. It appears bodged. This is by no means a military weapon of the modern day. He runs straight in. He gets to basically the middle of the room before like ducking in behind a crate. He turns around. He turns around towards it, and he just says, "Where are they?" The other 3 come in, and one of them twigs the dude shooting at them from the open cages, and is like, "They're escaping!" The other 2 are like, "What's happening? Where's Frank?" Because, without fail, all of them rolled less than 6. Apart from the one who botched. Here we are. We have Frank. We have a name for the man whose head you just turned into a fucking pinata. Anyway, yeah, so there we are. Right. Let's go back to Leroy. It's been a while since Leroy's done anything and Chewie's no longer holding him. Alright. So, in pure Leroy fashion, Leroy... Oh, yes, this is excellent. Leroy gets up off the ground, picks up the 2 halves of the heavy thing he was holding, which you're now aware is like a large slab of corrugated iron on a stick. He picks up the stick in one hand and the slab of corrugated iron in the other, and shouts, "Jenkins!" and runs across the room. Where he lays into the big dude with the black armband with a crit. So, there we are. Has his crit. So. Oh, shit. Yeah, you hear a fuck sort of noise. And. Screw it, why not? You see the banana clip out of the gun just fly across the room. Along with, 3 inches of the end of the stick. And you have a very, very pleased looking Leroy standing over a man with a very badly bruised arm and a broken gun. Right. What's happening next? Who's going?
The very next one to step in after the guy in the black armband. Zeke sees that's being dealt with. Will unleash the fury of Tilly on whatever Porsod steps through next.
Okay. You've got the guy who stands in the doorway. He points towards where Anita is. Not seeing Anita, but seeing a man with a gun firing wildly in his direction. And he points and says, "They've escaped!"
Big guns is a 6. Dirty 11.
Dirty 11. Yeah. The wall immediately to this guy's right just explodes in like a shower of flecks. It's like cement. So it's just pow, and it's like, ah, crap! And you see like little scratches on the side of his face as he like just dives for cover. Oh God! Ah! But yeah, you Tilly has missed. Yes. Right. Chewie and the Salties are going to Chewie and the Salties are going to start smashing up the cages. The guy with the gun is going to continue firing in the general direction of guards. Fucking hell. I should roll this dice more often. He crits. Hitting... Screw it. Let's say the same dickhead. He hits the same dickhead for 5. So, yeah. We have dickhead number 2. Hit for 5 damage. Pow. We'll say this happens contemporaneously with Zeke firing. So Zeke fires a shot, a big bullet hole appears in the wall, and the guy gets hit and starts bleeding. So Zeke's fairly sure he's hit. After action, we'll see that it's with the wrong angle, but in the wrong caliber. But hey, right, Timi, you're running across a room.
Running across a room
with a kosh.
Kosh, that's right. Kosh in hand. As the next guy comes through the door, Timi is going to be kind of winding up cartoon style, just sort of underarm to crack. Let's say underarm.
Okay, come on then.
Swift and effective.
Yeah.
What are we rolling on that?
That's definitely an arm
It's got
CC.
to be an arm CC, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're running past Leroy. He looks at you like, but I'm the one who's meant to run ahead.
17.
Fucking hell. Okay. Yes. All the damage. Go. Yeah.
Oh crap! I can't remember what I'm rolling for damage.
D6.
D6. Yeah. It's even written on the sheet.
Yes.
4.
4. Okay. In total.
D6. I rolled a 4 plus.
Your total.
Oh. 4, 7, 10, 11.
Yeah, that's better. Yes, you run in, you swing underarm, and you land a hit. You land a firm tall chock in the yarbles, as they say in the Great Clockwork Orange. You're fairly sure, as this lands, that you hear something go pop.
Oh God.
And this poor bastard who you've hit squarely in the crotch squeals the scream of the damned and just collapses to their knees. Like their face turns white almost instantly. Their pupils expand so fast it's almost like they've exploded. That's not something people get up from. As they hit the floor, like there's a damp puddle around them that starts spreading. You can hear crying. Like already, before they've hit the floor, they've started sobbing. We were going to have a baby.
Anymore.
But yeah, yes. As this person hits the floor, you realise in their hands grasping their crotch, they have like a new wedding band. Yeah, it's still shiny. They possibly even got a suntan from going outside for a honeymoon. But yeah.
Don't put my people in cages.
Well, clearly. Yes. Right. We have Anita and the Salties opening cages. Are you still opening cages?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. You bash the next one open. You have 3 Salties inside. There's a little old man, presumably his wife, little old lady, and there's like a teenage girl in there with them, like hugging them ferociously, trying to interpose herself between like yourself and them. And when they sort of, grasp what's going on, they just bolt for the door.
Good. I kind of point them towards the tunnel that way and move on to the next cage.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep freeing Salties.
Okay. Right. We had Frank. I might as well cross him out. So we have the black band man with his broken gun. He is going to stand up and take a swing at Leroy. Jesus Christ. Fucking Leroy. Leroy just like ducks down behind his piece of corrugated metal. There's this large irate man like just pummeling it with his broken gun, but nothing gets through. Leroy just crouches down behind it and puts it over his head. Okay. And next we shall have the poor schmuck who got shot by the door. He is going to... The only person he's aware of are the Salties so far. Yeah, he just fires blindly around the side of a crate. Doesn't do shit. He like hits the cages. Some of the Salties like scream and like duck. But that's about it. Right. So that's him and him. So we are back to Zeke.
No.
What do you want to do? If you want your mooks to do things, tell me. Because it's far better if you control them. I think now you're in combat. They've been sent to help you. I'll forget.
Okay. Which one was mine?
Your one was Jackson.
I'll point Jackson to the one that just caught it by the door.
Actually, no, your one was Leroy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Sorry.
was.
Was Leroy.
I'll help pull Leroy out.
I was going to say, you're just going to sit there and admire Leroy's survival skills. He cowers underneath a piece of metal. Like,
yes.
Good coward.
I think it's a most impressive skill set, and then sort of aim for the guy beating on him with another shot from Tilly.
Okay.
For a grand total of 13.
Yeah, I'd say 13 catches him. Catches the guy high in the shoulder as he's like swinging the gun over his head.
Okay, and then that's a D10. For 9 damage.
Whew, shit. Okay, yeah.
There's only 3 on the dice as well.
Yeah. He's taken a fair bit. That was 9, he said. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, shit. Yeah. He's He's having a bad day. This fella. Yeah, you you take your shot. You know, the guy's moving. It's quite hard to like really line up like anything proper. And you take him high in the shoulder, and it just blows a chunk of the top of the guy's shoulder off. Basically, it splatters over his neck and face, and his arm just sort of falls limp. And he's still holding the gun in the other hand, like wailing on Leroy's shield. But you get the impression it's more just out of like idiot resilience than any kind of real hope. The clangs are less impressive now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that Leroy would follow that up with at least a shove with the shield.
Okay, roll for Leroy then.
6 on the die.
Yeah, Leroy does follow it up with an almighty shove. The guy just sort of... It knocks the guy off balance rather than hurting him. But he falls backwards into the crates, and he's no hurry to do anything really. I'm taking 17 damage in 12 seconds. So yeah, this huge guy, he's bleeding out. He's got a severe wound to his shoulder and the base of his neck. He's a big spreading pool of blood. He's got blood all across his face and his eyes and his mouth. He's laying there. He's still swearing and shouting, but he's not getting up or doing anything useful. Right. So, you have an unconscious man, an incapacitated man, another fucked up person, someone who got shot but isn't dead, and someone who no one's touched who's just cowering. Excellent. So, we still have Chewie and Jackson, haven't done anything, and hiding fuckwit number 2. Oh, hiding fuckwit number 4, to be honest, but hey. Right. So what's Chewie doing?
Chewie was helping me open cages.
Yeah. And he's sort of ushering people out unless you want him to do something else.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah. To me, they're scared of me.
Cool. Chewie breaks the cage next to the one you have open, and having given away all the weapons he can afford, he rushes them out. You've now cleared one wall. The other wall still has people in cages, but you've cleared one wall.
Brilliant. I will have a quick glance around to see how the fight's going and yell to Timi, we need info out off of one of these idiots.
Okay. Yes. As you have a glance around, you can see there's someone with a gun. There's a gun pointing around a box on your side of the room, and there's someone shouting on the other side, but you can't see them. Right. I think I butted on Timmy saying something there.
I think Timi is going to shout over to Jackson. Drag him out. One word.
Who do you want dragged out?
Yeah. So basically, Timi's going to try and get Jackson to drag out the cowering idiot.
Okay, then. Alright. Yes.
So she can ask a few questions.
Yes. Okay. Jackson, who is the larger of the two fairly lithe people, rushes across the room, on the wall where the Salties are still imprisoned. Salties are reaching through the bars. Save us! What the bloody hell are you doing? Let us out! Don't shoot! Don't make them shoot in our direction! I'm not a coward! Just don't die! Yeah. He runs along, rah, and jumps over the crate. Oh yes. On, he jumps over the crate in like a graceful arc. Hits something hard on the other side, and you hear someone going. You hear some poor bastard going, "My leg!" As lands with a crit, smack down on someone's goddamn legs. For a tasty little 6 damage. Nice. Yeah. You see him. You see Jackson come back around the crate, like dragging someone by the leg, and the leg is sort of bending unhealthily. Poor bastard, just like flailing with their arms, like no.
Now he is out in the open, and being dragged by a leg's quite useful. Timi is going to say, "Right, hold his leg. Don't need to move any further." And just gently places one hand over this guy's neck. You gonna tell me why these people are in crates then?
Help!
Okay.
Help!
Clearly not the information she wants, so she's just going to cosh him over the head gently, just enough to cause pain, not enough to cause unconsciousness.
Okay. Give me a torture, and we'll come back to you.
What's that? 18.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So, Jackson and Timi are engaging in some light torture. Over on the right-hand side of the room, you have the man in the black armband, like laying there, cursing and screaming in the middle of the room, and we've got the poor dickhead who got shot by like a glancing blow from one of the Salties, still cowering behind a box on the left side of the room, firing blindly. So, at this point, with the cry of help, cowering dickhead number 2 is going to stand up and survey the situation. And on a mental endurance roll of 2, it's going to scream and run away.
Can I pop him in the leg as he goes?
Yep. Anyone facing that direction with anything to like propel at him gets a chance.
That is a measly 12.
Measly 12. But it's perfectly fine because he's running into the most brightly lit part of the room down a straight corridor.
Okay. Oh, hello. Was that a 10 on the old Damaggio?
Oh, shit.
Totaling 16.
Yeah, plaff. It's not a fancy shot, but the guy becomes hollow from like the neck down. Just blow out the poor bastard's chest. His lungs sort of, he lives long enough to see his lungs hit the ground. Before folding over forwards. Bringing up to a grand total of 21. So he's taken the most so far. So there we are. You have finished your engagement with the 5 guards. Nice. And they didn't even have time to scream each other's names. Always like it when they get to do that.
I'm sure we'll check the name badges as we're picking over their corpses.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, you have your poor jacked victim laying there being tortured. So I believe you lightly and delicately cudgeled them around the face.
I did.
Okay. Well, as any good torturer knows, you avoid the head because it makes them confused. But anyway, you smash this poor bastard around the face, possibly breaking a few teeth. I was laying there. What? Oh, my face.
Why are the people in cages? Try it again.
They're prisoners.
She takes his hand, lays it out, slams
Ooh, shit.
push into his fingers. Why are they in?
cages.
Motivate the workers.
Motivate the workers. That's better. Takes the other hand, smashes the fingers of.
What workers? Why?
The workers in the pen.
The workers in the what now?
In the pen.
In the pen.
Mm.
What are they doing in the pen?
I don't bloody know.
You don't know or you don't want to tell me?
Pick one.
Takes the elbow. And this time, with the elbow, just lays it out so that it instead of it being like that, it's like that, and smashes there.
Yeah. At the point of doing actual bodily harm, it no longer is torture and it is an engaged attack. Because you can die of shock. So
What would you like?
I want you to roll the damage. You've done it. That's happening.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Damage is gonna be. Oh dear, that's not very good. 8.
8. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this poor person, their eyes start rolling back into their head, like their legs lolling the wrong way, their arms lolling the wrong way. Now their eyes are rolling the wrong way. They start sort of turning like a sluggish grey pallor. They start sweating a lot. Their breathing slows.
Timi's gonna look at Anita, shrug her shoulders, go, oops.
Big guy, armbands, seems to be in charge.
Right.
Yep, there's still the semi-conscious commander in the black armband from the Black Watch. Yeah.
But while this is going on, Zeke is going to try and hunt down the clip that he saw go flying off to see whether the ammo is compatible with Tilly.
Fair enough. Okay.
So Timi is going to signal to Jackson and head on over to the guy with the armband. Give him a bit of a shove with their foot. Go, do you want to tell me about this pen then?
The dude is like barely conscious. Like he's got an enormous, like freely bleeding, like neck wound. He's not dead, but like, you might have to do some like motivational medicine to like, to make this person, conscious enough to answer questions.
Right. Well, I think probably if we give Anita the chance to do medicine, he's actually going to feel better. So I think Timi's going to roll a medic on this one. Because we don't want him to feel better, we just want him to be able to talk. 10, 11, 12, 13.
You think you've managed to apply enough pressure to the site of the injury to stop the most of the bleeding, but you've basically just like ripped the arm off of his jacket, off his useless arm, and like tied it like a sling, and like pulled it very tight. So it hurts enormously, but he's not bleeding quite so much.
Job done.
You don't doubt that he is dying without immediate medical assistance, but like he's not dying right now.
Right then. Pens, people, what's going on?
People in pants, they work.
Who are they working for and what are they doing?
So they, his eyes are barely focusing. Like they fix it. They pump and they fix it.
Pump and they fix it. What are they pumping?
Pumps.
And they're fixing what?
The thing in the pen.
In the pen.
Thing. He's like weakly gesturing with the arm that works. Just like the thing. He's like sort of vague, sketchy shape. Just a long thing. This. If you've ever tried to ask like where someone lives when they're very, very, very drunk, yeah. And it's like around there, next to the thing.
Timi is going to go up to Anita and suggest that perhaps Anita could make him a little bit more conscious for us, and I will take over releasing the Salties.
Fine. I will wander across, pull out my last syringe of stim, and I'll wake him up.
Yeah, but why didn't you use that on your friend when they were dying?
Because
I got cream. I was dead.
You rubbed topical cream on someone who got thrown like 20 feet by an enormous explosion.
yeah,
And you're using life-saving drugs on someone you you actively want to die. Okay.
because I'm annoyed at these two bumbling idiots. This is useful.
Okay.
22 meters.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus, I forgot I had
This poor guy. He like surges back to consciousness. Like the blood flow in his neck speeds up dramatically. Like the blue denim soaks to like dark red very quickly. He gasps like, what? Ah! Why? Whoa! No! It sounds like flailing at the wound with his other hand. What did you do? No!
I apply pressure to the wound and go,
Oh, God.
please.
Why? Oh God, it hurts! Oh God, it hurts!
I squeeze.
Yeah, this guy doesn't seem to have an awful lot of blood left.
It's smart to put more pressure on it to stop the blood coming out, but to hurt a bit.
He's applying pressure. The bandage is applying pressure. It's just his actual blood pressure has increased. It's sort of squirting around the bandage. It's you've just dosed someone enormously with adrenals, and they have an enormous gushing arterial wound. Oh, he's just emptying faster now. You've poked a hole in the balloon and now you're squeezing it. It's like, they're in the pen, they're fixing the thing, go!
What thing?
The thing, I don't know what it's called. It'll, if they don't fix it, we'll die.
Okay. What does it do?
I don't know. The boss wants to use it for this, the lights, and stuff. It's going wrong.
Okay.
His eyelids start like fluttering.
Timi seems to be on his way out. A bit more unconscious. Apparently they're fixing a thing that gives power.
That gives power.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Not a clue. It's not a boat. So, guess we need to go and have a look. Let's get these people out of cages and,
At this point, Chewie has probably freed everyone. You've been like arsing about with like drugging and casually murdering people. It's been informal. No one was wearing a top hat. It's informal. So yeah, Chewie's like ushered everyone out. He's like pried the gun. The guns and the cudgels and the knives back out the hands of the people he like hastily armed. Apart from the kid with the knife. The kid still got the knife. He won't give it up. He's like, fine, go. So yes. Before dying, the dude in the black armband, he tells you how to get to the pen.
Cool. I'm going to have a quick look around this storeroom to see if I can find any medical supplies. I have a feeling I'm going to need them.
And Timi is going to frisk the dead or dying ones for weapons.
Okay.
And take one of their coats so she can give Zeke his coat back.
You are aware their coats are like short jackets.
Okay. Might take some trousers too.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you get like a handful of like crappy old pistols, like shoddy guns. We'll say as a group. Right, who's looking for guns? You're looking for guns, right? You roll a d4. Right, Anita, what are you looking for? Medical supplies, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, roll a d4. What's Zeke looking for?
Ammunition.
Oh, you're looking for your clip, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You roll the d4 as well.
Ooh, a 4.
I got a 4 as well.
2.
Okay. Right. So yeah. Timi, you find 2 usable pistols. The others they're either damaged in the severe the horrible beatings, or the Salties nicked them on their way out. Anita, you find like 4 small like packs of medical supplies. They're like self-contained kits. You get the impression that the blue coats like get these together. There's like a simple bandage, like some like a small dose of stim. And it's sort of like a one, like it's kind of like a GSW kit sort of thing. They know what they're up against, and they stock up like a compression bandage, a small dose of painkiller, and a little stim, just to keep someone going for a while. All right, Zeke, you find the clip, but it's been badly bent by being hit so hard with a thick stick that it snaps. But you manage to pull the top 2 rounds out of the clip, because actually the spring's at the bottom, so kind of like managed to like wangle it. And you think that they might fit in Tilly. It wouldn't be your choice of ammo. But push comes to shove, you can make it work. And I think that's where we're going to leave it tonight, because we've run very much over time. And we've only walked down 2 passageways and had the first fight. But we had a fight! We haven't had a fight in ages! It reminds me how bad I am at running them. So yeah, there we are. That was my guys get nuked. We will leave you in that room, amidst your looting and the blood and death of your enemies. So yeah. And I shall now try and wind my head back out of the cinematic vision within my brain and remember what we say at the end of these things, because it's been a little while. So yeah. That was Man Against Nuked. I was thirsty. I was the world. I shot at you. I provided people for you to shoot. I occasionally had them shout names of their loved ones and their life plans, because it's not really a thirsty game unless someone screams that you're ruining their life and announces the reasons why you shouldn't have harmed this harmless NPC. So yeah. I quite enjoyed that. I got to do combat again and remind myself that I need to work out how to do that better. You attained vital information. Woo! You're that much closer to working out what's been going on for 6 months while you went on boats and started around in brothels. So yeah, we're wrangling ourselves towards plot resolutions. Woo! Huzzah! As I pointed out to someone a little while ago, we've been playing a game called Rotten Under Ooze Town for 6 months and no one looked underground. For 6 months.
We are, however, coming up to our year anniversary.
True. Oh, God. Yes. The year anniversary of the game I told you would last 12 weeks. Yes. There we are. So, I say, I was thirsty, I was the world. Thank you for playing, thank you for watching. Other people do things. I'll do my thing at the end because I really remember what it was. Who wants to do things?
Well, I've been Eivor playing Zeke. That was good fun. I managed to prove that Zeke is good for tracking, not only just backtracking and running away. Yeah, that was good fun, and I'm curious to see what we find in the pens. Had you not highlighted that there were people in cages round and about?
Yeah. I thought that was a nice touch.
It nearly was still, but.
Well, I must say, one of the few times that something novel has happened in this campaign that I actually planned it. My notes literally say there are groups of bluecoats guarding captured folks. So there we are. Huzzah! Everything's good.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Eivor_DNABC. Here on a Monday night, and otherwise in the nebulous north.
Up to no good, old warrant. But yes.
I'm innocent.
No. So yeah, there we are. That was the first of our wonderful players. I think we should continue in the fine tradition of doing an Arabic reading order. So, Lilth.
I'm Lilth. I've been playing Anita, who actually did a little bit of torture. She's been around Timi way too long.
Yeah. You saved your life-saving drugs for your torture victims rather than giving it to your injured friends. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she forgot she had it on her.
That's solidly staying around Timi for too long.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But hey.
It was good fun.
It was.
Definitely good fun. Getting closer to actually finishing. Maybe. We'll see. There's bound to be a shop somewhere we can detour into.
God.
As I remember from our Blue Coats episode, there is like a fully stocked armory.
There is. There is a fully stocked armory.
Anyway, so you can find me on Twitter at Lilth21, where I tend to retweet lots of random stuff and like stuff, and very rarely post stuff. You can find me on Saturday nights on Kit Battlebeard's Twitch channel, playing a bit of D&D, when Kit's internet actually works. And that's normally at 9 PM BST. And this Saturday, if Polish Ogre doesn't get called into work, we should be going straight from our D&D session to a seasonal special of Corpses and Curios.
Wow.
Where we will be using the Capers system.
That sounds very cool.
It should be very cool.
Of course, that is requiring, of course, that Kit's internet works and Ogre doesn't have to go to work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of maybes.
Yeah, that's what happened this weekend.
Fair enough. So, yes. Second to last, but no means least, because I haven't actually done my own bit yet. Spanners!
Oh, I am Spanners. I love that one. I have now got living proof that Timi can be launched into the air and then brought back to life with what appeared to be Savlon. It's just wonderful. I can't believe you didn't use the life-saving medication. But no, that was so cool. Timi was back on form with torturing and murdering and general debauchery. I'm looking forward to rescuing her people.
Yes. Excellent.
So, yes, you can find me on Twitter at Spanners_BTP and also Spanners_ACX, depending on whether you want me ranting or talking gaming. You can find me here Monday nights on Dark Dice. Go and download. We are released up to episode 4, but there are many, and no spoilers shall be given. On other things, including TFTT, which you'll be able to listen to us playing Masks, where I am playing a vegetable-hating vegan.
Excellent. Yes.
It's all very silly.
Good. So yes, that wraps that up. Yes, if anyone wants to find me, and I don't know why you would, I've handled this whole thing terribly. You find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP. You can find me on bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk, as long as that still exists. I haven't checked for a while. And you can find me here on Mondays, because, hey, I'm hosting it. And, yeah, that's that. And I can't think of anything else to say, and I haven't got a beer, so... Time at the bar. Drink up. Cheerio. Oh,
that was so much fun.
That was great.
Oh, I've really got to remember to track what everyone's doing, because I kept forgetting people.
It was chaos.
It was, but that's the point.
Wonderful, wonderful chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump in, wrong foot the bastards, kill them all. Oh, yeah. Always good to get into a tight little tunnel and throw bombs around. That has never gone wrong.
No,
Never.
That was always going to work really, really well.
I'm glad that someone remembered the 2-point buy. But yeah.
Well, the thing is, every time I've used my 2-point buy, it's been for something stupid.
Well, I did sort of. I realised I decided to throw it, so I said it, and then I suddenly went, I wonder if I can make Jerry's noises. I can be a squirrel. It's fine.
Yes, so far I've used it to ram a cricket bat into
an engine.
Yeah, to blow a window out and nail the salt captain.
Yeah.
Hit the exploding jars.
Under the hovercraft.
Yeah. And
Blow up a hill.
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes things just go smooth. But yeah. Oh, God, that was quite a game. Thanks, guys, for playing again.
Yeah.
I know that the campaigns with me drag on because I forget to make them end. So thank you. Oh.